What's up, ladies and gents, and welcome back to our little Killing Floor 2 guide. We are on Catacombs this time. Obviously, once again, Hell on Earth 4 waves, as is the easiest way of getting the Hell on Earth achievement. Some consider this to be the most difficult map in the game. I might possibly agree. But let's see what we can do, right?
What are we hunting now? Caveman then?
Yes, we are hunting caveman sets. That's a very good one. Oh boy. So we spawned Zerker for the very simple reason that it's practically impossible to die as Berserker on wave 1, and that's what we want to make sure, right? Surviving the wave. You might argue it's practically impossible to die as Berserker, period, but that's another story. That was a tough one. Little frame drop to boot. I was kinda counting on Z time, it didn't happen, so I just took it. But like I said, you can't tank all that, it's really no problem. Hey, that guy stole my kill, what the fuck? Oh no. I hear you. Now the reason why many people consider this to be one of the most difficult maps is because it doesn't have any obvious high camp spots. I mean, it has a few good ones, but even those are tricky, as we have a lot of elevation. Usually what you want for a perfect camp spot is a nice long sightline to hold. That is the easiest way, that is what makes Containment Station such a popular multiplayer map. It has very easy sightlines to hold. And on top of that, if you do get, this is the place where a lot of people hold. With some people holding here, this is the easy side. And the rest like holding those stairs. It's very good to play Firebug on this, obviously, since you can hold down that choke. And if you Zerg wall, it's pretty easy. You just have a Zerg sit here and block everything, and then the rest holds up there. It's pretty easy to do it in my opinion, but a lot of pub teams struggle with it. But then again, what don't they struggle with, right? And I think the notion that this map is one of the toughest comes from it's pretty hard to kite on here. Now the reason why we do decide to kite regardless is because you basically need at least 2 people to hold on this map. For the simple reason you always have to watch 2 sides. And it's doable, but obviously we are trying to show the easiest way of finishing this map, that's what this guide is all about. So, doing something that is maybe doable for good players is probably not the right way to go about it. Kill him. A very easy way of taking out Gore Fiends is to hit a alt attack, a heavy attack on their head, and then they're basically one shot. Unless you pick the skill that improves your heavy attack, I'm not sure if you can one shot them then. Oh no, that's not cool. I didn't like the sight of all these bloats. Very hard to pass. Appears to be some Z fighting going on, yeah there is. seems to be a very slow spawning wave. Didn't like that. A little stalker, kind of. I hate stalkers. We do come out of nowhere, and that is one reason why having commandos on your team does help. A lot of people underestimate it. Let's make use of this actually. A lot of people will probably not understand why I picked this. Oh god. Bye bye. That's an easy way of taking down husks, by the way. And the reason why I picked it is basically emergency if you're in a tight spot and you need to blast something out of your way and the katana doesn't quite cut it. Because that's the difficulty of this map, with tight spots. That if you're kiting, you're inevitably going to come across a situation where you are caught in a tight spot. And yeah, that's when it's useful. So what we're doing now, we sell this, pick up the bone crusher, we sell the katana, pick up the pulverizer, pick up ammo and some armor.
Final choices, people. Enemies on the scope.
And this should be good to go. We went a little bit of a different path this time from the other build. And that is, I do want to have a katana early on for the trash clearing, because it's just so much better at it than the pulverizer. And as some of you may notice if you try this yourself, it is tough if you are not experienced at playing this game. It is tough to play this map. This doesn't play itself. And in a tight spot, I'll take the katana any day of the week. Come on, fuck you. Sorry for foul language there. I was not very impressed with the gore fiend. Another thing I'm not very impressed with is this red color when you swing the shield around and the bat. I mean, this is a baseball bat, that's all it is, right? Oh no. I was interested in a quick disposal of the flesh pound. And this is where you need to look at the situation. Like, I was looking around seeing if there was any immediate danger. I didn't see any. So I made the decision that getting rid of the flesh pound quickly is the best thing I could go for in this situation. Why? Well, the flesh pound will keep making trouble. It's not like a Scrake that you can just that you can just ignore. Mixing up the words a little bit. The flesh pound can't forever be ignored. You can parry it and take little damage and heal, and you can somewhat ignore it, I guess. But you're going to have to deal with it more than with a Scrake. The Scrake will just follow you, it doesn't really matter. As we kind of maneuver our way around here.
Right, here comes cash on leg.
So the Scrake is usually something you can ignore for the simple fact that it doesn't auto-rage. The Scrake will just walk around behind you, slowly trying to catch up, which it never will. So Scrakes are easily ignored. Flesh Pounds, however, they will auto-rage, they will keep posing a problem, so getting rid of them as quickly as possible is advised if you can do so safely. Now you do not want to engage with Flesh Pound while in heavy traffic. I think the reason for that is obvious, but if not, here's what a lot of people will fail to understand, and I see that in multiplayer a lot. They will engage with Flesh Pound and only with Flesh Pound. The entire team will focus on it. None of the big damage dealers is safe. That usually goes to the demo or the sharpshooter. None of them is safe. Everyone is just focusing on the large Z at hand. And there are situations when this is important, but at the same time, what I see a lot is a Scrake appears, they all look at the Scrake and they get overrun by a bunch of crawlers and stalkers. And that should not happen. You should always make sure you have a clear engage and not just, while you are in massive trouble, engage a Flesh Pound or a Scrake. That's what a lot of teams wipe to. So while indirectly you might blame the Scrake for the wipe because he will maybe even get the kills, it was really the small Zeds taking you off your target. And that's something that can harm you in solo as well. I mean, you don't have an entire team focusing, obviously, it's only you. But you should make sure, like in that situation that I was in, do I have a clean engage? Do I have the time to engage with Flesh Pound? Or should I make sure I have a safety route, a way out, a path to take? And then we continue looking at our options, when to engage, when to not engage. That's not funny. That's two of them down. And now is one of those situations where we need to book it. We were pretty much surrounded, and now it's all about trying to regain a situation in which we can actually do something. Remember, it doesn't matter, you can tank some damage. As Berserker, you could just turn around and parry some of the attacks. And remember to not run away too fast, because stuff will either teleport in front of you or spawn in front of you. That argument is probably as old as the game itself. So a slow way out isn't a bad thing. And we once again don't have the engagement that we want. So once again, as we get hit again. So once again we just book it, we walk away, we try to calm down the situation. And I'm just trying to figure out if there is a situation that we can take. Oh no, that's not good. As with Flesh Pound takes the top position, and that's not a sight I want. The Gore Fiends are a problem, but not the problem that I'm most worried about. As a matter of fact, the husks are what I'm most worried about at the moment. As you not only have to worry about their flamethrower, you also have to worry about them shooting you. And you also want to know where exactly you parry, because you don't want to get pushed into... Oh, there's a Scrake. That's interesting. Let's slow down the Scrake a little bit. Now this is a perfect example of you kinda have to know your situation, where you are on the map, and what you need to do. Now I knew I have the time in Z time and I have the speed in Z time. Ouch. To do a clear engage there. Oh, that one hurt.
When you're done, I can reopen the trade.
Now this is not something I like. This gameplay is not very fun. I think the flesh pound just hit. And we got it. Doing continuous damage every now and then does help. When you can get a hit in or so. That's not fun. Another thing you will notice is if you kite in front of Husk Salad, they will steal some of your kills, and I don't mean that by literally steal your kills, but you will notice they will fight each other a lot. There goes one of the Husks. Yeah, he doesn't like that. Neither do I, however. That one worked. So that all worked rather well. It took its time, but that's another thing. If you're uncertain of a situation, just make sure you're safe, take your time and play it. You can risk more, obviously. Berserker is the perk to risk more. But at the same time, why do it? Why bother? If you can just do it this way, do it in a safe way. After all, this is all for getting the achievement. But I think this showed pretty well why kiting on this map is considered to be very difficult. As we go for the patented setup again.
More Zeds on the way. Start to wrap things up, as they say. I'm about to shut the pod. More Zeds on the scope.
Now for the boss fight, obviously. Oh, not this again.
You people disgust me. Incessant gobbling of money. I will exterminate you.
I don't like fighting hunts very much.
Best they could send.
Nah.
Hello there, you.
As could work better. Ignore this. Let's just pick up some ammo. I think you will come this way, right? Yeah, you will. This is not the best ranged weapon of all time. Let me tell you that much.
Tired of this game. Time to try the next phase. Enough of this phase. Now
Oh, there goes one of his shields. That is a big, big no for you, sir.
that was the easy part.
You kinda want to stay in these areas. Oh no. Oh, that works. And killed. Yeah, you kinda want to stay in that starting area and the camping area because you have clean shots to take him down. It's a little bit of a tip in the end there. And obviously with clean shots this is easy. Cakewalk. So, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.